And at that time, like, Vinny was just blowing up. He already had Purgatory in mind. We met him at Earth Cafe on Melrose. He skated to the fucking meeting. And he had, like, this mock-up of a design.
Uh-huh.
And it was so bad.
I think you sent me that.
Yeah, it was so bad. And I was like, the moment, like, we chopped it up and, like, I kind of understood the vision, I
Yeah.
was like, bet. Like, I got this. Okay.
That was hard. Welcome back to 249 Pen from LA, baby. First time. Fuck yeah. I pulled this shit off. I didn't think I was gonna.
Welcome.
Yeah, we're in LA. I'm here because of, actually, you guys. Jed's off camera. You can't see Jed, but it's fine. But I'm here because of you mostly.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. Jeremy the Curious. Jeremy DQVI.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, fuck.
I've
Actually,
never seen a Pen episode, so this is
You
all.
have. That's a little sad. I'm a little bit.
Well, I mean,
I'm a
like,
little
because
pressed.
I haven't, like, been in it, so, like,
okay.
I was
All
like,
right.
I'm not gonna watch it until I'm
got
in
you.
it.
I respect that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Fuck it. Okay, I fuck with it. Sorry.
Then I mean, I've seen bits and clips
For sure.
like of that girl, like that one girl was in it. Yeah. So,
The one girl.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about like just basic shit, right? Like how we met, how we kind of like built up our friendship and shit, and then Purg and
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Before we start, big shout out to Third Wheel Podcast Studio in LA for hosting us. Great. It's like 5 minutes from your place.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Convenient as fuck, and
in
it's
Santa
very, very
Monica.
great.
Shout
Fucking
out.
love it.
The spot looks cool. The
No,
vibe
yeah,
is right.
The
Yeah.
vibe is right. You're not wrong. You're very LA today.
Am I?
You got a fucking Pinky's lanyard with a fucking blue bottle keychain on it. With blue bottle. Is that blue bottle?
No, bro, that's from Thailand, dog.
Okay, all right. My bad. I'm
Sorry,
sorry.
Taiwan, my bad.
My bad. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But yeah, so how do you, okay, so first off, how do you start, how are you?
How am I what?
How are you?
How am I me?
Yeah, how'd you become you?
Um,
Because you've done a lot of shit, dude.
yeah. We're just grinding. I mean,
Yeah, so you're from the Philippines?
I'm from the Philippines. Yeah,
First
I
off.
moved to LA in 2012. So
Damn.
yeah, I was like
Fuck, that's
fresh.
10 years.
Yeah, April 2012 was when I moved, and then it was like a culture shock and shit because
Yeah.
I didn't know how to speak English that well.
For sure.
And
How old are you at the time?
probably 14, something
Okay.
like that. And then I went into high school.
For sure. Were you always like into fashion and shit?
Well, I mean, at that age, I don't really think, I don't know. Like, ever since I was young, I just wanted to look cool. But, like,
Fair.
it wasn't, like, when you're young, you wear skinny jeans. Like, I used to shop at the women's aisle and stuff like
For
that.
real?
Yeah, well, skinny jeans for girls are better than guys.
Oh, see, I don't know. I'm not tapped in at all.
I know.
dog. I wear Birks and fucking this. I dress so like hobo.
But, I mean,
so-
like, like, fashion, like, intellect.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm more
saying?
tapped in now. Actually,
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
you. Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
really.
But no, yeah, like in high school, like I didn't really know much early on, and then later on in high school, it was like, okay, like I'm kind of feeling it out,
For sure.
learning like my own style. But I was just type to not wear like uniform and shit like that, and I was always wanted to look cool, like what I thought was cool at that time. And to this day, I think like that's
Gotcha.
what I need to like keep on doing,
Mhm.
is like thinking like what I think is cool, you know. But it's just
Gotcha.
because of like social media is so saturated now.
Mhm.
But you gotta like do, and a lot of people have been killing it with like what
Yeah.
they think is cool. But then because it just became so uniform because of
Yeah.
social media, like stylistically, like I can literally name it, like what that type of style. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so like what's different? Like
Yeah. Fair.
so
Oh fuck. So you drop out of college, no?
yeah, I dropped out third year with Jed.
Oh, good
Yeah,
job.
but
Jed.
I did it before Jed.
Good job.
Yeah,
Oh,
I dropped
okay.
out before Jed. Yeah.
Okay. Why'd you do that? You just want to fucking with it?
No. I mean, like, the important thing about dropping out was knowing that you have a plan afterwards. So it's
Okay.
like the moment we dropped out, I dropped out when I was negotiating like the Clubhouse deal. So it was like,
Oh fuck.
so like the moment I dropped out was in February, but
Okay.
like
Oh, that was what?
mentally
19?
2020
Okay.
February 2020. So we moved in March 30th, and I got the negotiating the contract like early March,
Gotcha.
and then mentally I was already done, like and then when I got into Clubhouse I was still doing a little bit of homework, But
Yeah, I
then,
remember.
yeah, but then it was like, oh wait, this is like a full time like thing.
Like requirement
Yeah,
thing?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, I never like tapped in. Like I just
That's funny.
stopped. Like
You you just abandoned it?
to this day, like I know like
Are you still
no
registered? Or are you just like just straight ghosted?
ghosted. I ghosted my
fucker,
yeah.
I'm
there was no
You
like
didn't send a letter,
no
let
no
anyone know.
nothing like that. Zero.
I'm
Like ghosted.
dead.
Like I literally ghosted my school. No one actually knows that. Like ghosted it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no.
Where were you going?
Cal State LA.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I got accepted to a bunch of schools, but like,
What were you studying?
huh?
What were you studying?
I got into film.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right,
My thing was just like going into college, like I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Like I knew why I needed to stay because I was
Yeah.
like pursuing this shit, and
Yeah.
like I got into SFSU, like I got
Oh
into
shit.
like
What the fuck?
I got into U of A.
We're gonna
I
talk
got
about this. What the fuck?
yeah, I got into U of A. I got into SFSU. I got into a New York school, an Iowa school, shit like that. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what's funny? College is a very big part of like the beginning of my story with you. So I reached out to you
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to get to Justin. I remember that. But Justin was huge on social. So I was like,
Everyone
"There's no
wanted
shot."
to get like
Of
that.
course.
Even Jed like did that. Like
Yeah.
everyone did because
Yeah.
I was the only one that was like approachable at the time. Like Cam
Yeah.
wasn't really as approachable. Cause well they would, but like they wouldn't let them in as much
Yeah.
because they all like lived together.
Yeah.
JP, like all those heads. I was the one that wasn't living with them.
Yeah.
So like I was like a little bit, and I was like from the mud. Like I was like from K Town and shit.
Yeah.
And I was like just a local kid, you know. So it was relatively easier. Like I understood it. So like I was more like I could actually have a conversation with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, type of thing.
And so I remember that I just sent you a DM. I sent you a fucking paragraph. And I was like, listen, I don't want to fucking connect with it. Like, I just want to send you a hoodie.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, I don't want you to like send it to anybody else. I don't want to
Yeah.
connect. It took you 3 fucking weeks to hit me back.
Well, I mean, like the thing was that at that
3 weeks.
Yeah,
And
well-
the first thing you said was, "Here's my number. Call me ASAP."
yeah, I wasn't. To this day, I'm not much of a texter.
Me
like,
neither.
Yeah.
Whenever we need to talk to each other, you just call me.
Yeah.
to this day.
Because like it's just easier that way.
Yeah.
Like just get it out. You know, it's like 10 seconds. You know, but at that time I was just like, you didn't really like your message was very nice, but I was like, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I knew it because I was making clothes at that time.
Yeah.
So like I knew like what you were going through.
Yeah.
So it was like I understood it. I was like, if you send it to me, like you're just wasting money.
Yeah.
You're just giving.
I was so cool with that though.
Yeah, you were just.
I was fine.
I know, but I mean, like, I get it though. Like, I get
Yeah.
like the purpose of doing that. So I was like, this kid is not like, yeah, like someone could see it or whatever, but like it wasn't gonna be anything substantial enough to
Yeah.
like do any impact to your brand. You're literally just giving some random dude
Yeah, just
from LA
Yep.
like a free piece, and I
Yeah.
was like, that wouldn't like that's not gonna do anything for you.
Yeah.
So. What I can do for
Yeah.
you like is something else. Like I'll tap in and then
Yeah, because I walked out of a midterm to hit that.
Oh,
You back.
yeah, you told me.
And dude, it was a fucking linguistics midterm.
Uh-huh.
And I went to the bathroom because I got your DM.
Uh-huh.
I texted you and I was like, yeah, and he's like, we texted for like back and forth. I was in the fucking bathroom just pacing, just fucking doing laps in the fucking boys' bathroom. And you're like, here's my number. Call me as soon as you can. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Went back to class, looked at my paper for like 30 seconds, and I was like, fuck this. Got up and I was like, I can't do this. I'm really sorry. And I walked the fuck out.
Are you
I
serious?
swear to God. And I hit you back and I called you, and that was the whole day.
Oh my god.
Dropped
so
the
you
class.
so you dropped the class.
No, like they dropped me from the class. I ghosted the same way you did, just that one class.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
But like what were we like talking about?
You were like, yo, like I'm doing this thing and that thing, and I was like, what the fuck? This is great. Like,
Yeah.
Because what I ended up learning.
Because I definitely wasn't shit at that time yet. Well, I mean,
I mean,
like,
to
a
me,
little
you
bit.
were.
Yeah.
Because like what I didn't know was that you were a lot of the brain behind 1340.
Yeah.
That was like a giant inspiration for me at the time.
Yeah.
Right? Just because, right? I remember the videos were huge for me because I was into film, and like film was like the gateway drug to clothes for me. But the drug that became clothes design and like graphic design for like merch and all this shit was fueled by 1340. And so I was like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, to this day, bro, like I would meet like old people that were like in that life.
Yeah.
And because this was like lifetimes ago for me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. And there would be people that would meet, and then there would be like Nick Lopez. I met him like I knew of him, and like I
Yeah.
would see him around because these are like the boys.
Yeah.
They were all way too cool for me, like at that time, because I was just
Okay.
like some random kid from LA, and I was young as fuck.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we're the same age basically. What, you're
yeah,
23?
I'm 20. I'm turning 24. Yeah,
Okay.
but
I'm
but
like 10 months younger than you.
yeah. But the thing is, like at that time, like everyone else was older than me. Like I was
Fair.
like super young,
Yeah.
and so like I remember I met Nick Lopez like at the club one time, and with like our friend Bianca, and we like got introduced. It was he's like super cool with me now. Like I fucking love him. But he was like, "Yo, like the you have so much like." When he sees me, he's like, "You have so, like the resemblance is crazy." Like he was like, I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was just like, "You're Filipino, da da da." Like the way you represent, like you like the way you are, and like the way I dress, and like the way that I move. I was like, "Fuck, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing." And then he got to know me more. Well, actually, no. I met him first at Bianca's apartment, and then we chopped it up like on some personal shit. And
Gotcha.
then I met him at the club, where I was a little bit stunting. Like I had my Rolex on, like shit like that.
Okay.
And then Justin's first watch was a Submariner, you know, and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So he was like, "Oh, like it's the same shit." I was like, "Yeah, whatever." Like it was just funny because like he was an inspiration. It just sucks like the way that it was, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. But yeah, like that was like the resemblance apparently was just crazy. So
Yeah. But yeah, no. So I goes to the class, and I remember I sent you like some shitty ass shit, like terrible shit.
What do you mean?
Like the designs that I sent you were ass.
yeah.
Um,
That's how it is though.
Yeah.
Like if I look back at my bad decisions designs, like it's so garbage.
but yeah, so I sent you a bunch of shit, and it was terrible. And then I remember that you were just like, keep sending me shit.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it was like,
I remember that. There was like a point in time for like maybe a year where
Yeah.
like we were doing that. That was
Like-
me like kind of like mentoring
and
David.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even frustrating because I didn't even expect anything to happen, like anything as big as like Purg to happen. So it was never frustrating, but I was like really just happy that I like didn't get put on immediately. Like I'm really glad that you took the time to just like for a year, like we just built a friendship for a year.
Yeah.
Like I didn't ask you for anything, you
Yeah.
didn't give me anything. I
Yeah.
was just like, here's the shit that I'm making.
Yeah.
Because I remember like the first big talk that we had, you were like, you need to get tapped into making like 50 designs a day
Yeah.
and do that for like a year.
Yeah.
And then like you're gonna be in a totally different place.
But I could tell that to David at that time because when I was still like in your position at that time, like legitimately like I was doing that. Like that's
Yeah.
not like a lie. Like
No, I'm sure.
like people probably didn't think that, but like you can't just be a really good designer or like a person that can like be in this stature like creatively if you didn't do that.
Yeah.
You know, like people like there was this one time like Antonio, like he never sees me design and shit. You know, and I was like, well, now like because I can just design shit and I know like I can visually see like what hits and what doesn't.
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah, and like my thing now is like, back then like, I didn't have the control for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it had to be someone else's vision. It's not
Yeah.
like my vision.
You
like,
weren't in charge of-
yeah, now I'm in charge of like what I think is cool and what
Yeah.
comes out. So it's like I don't need to make 50 designs. But like to
Yeah.
this day, if like someone presses me and asks me for 50 designs, like I'll be able to do that. I just
Yeah.
need more time.
course.
But back then, because like back then, bro, like I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like there,
I
like
would call you at like
7 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would be up. Like
Yeah.
I would be like in my mom's like thing, like in our kitchen
Like a
table,
little
in my
dining room
laptop.
table, yeah.
Yeah. And then I would be because I would be bashing out those designs and like I have those like and my thing too is like if it and that's the one of the things that I kind of regret was like I didn't get to hold on to all of my designs because like I've lost 3 laptops.
damn.
Yeah, I've lost 3 laptops that I don't have anymore. So it's like the laptop that I have now is my 3rd laptop, and
I'm
the
gonna get
only-
you a hard drive for your birthday, bitch.
well, I have a
Jesus.
hard drive now, but like it's not. It's like you don't upload everything on your hard drive. Like
I
only
do.
I don't like
Jesus Christ.
because
it
like
scares the fuck out of me.
yeah, like I don't like my thing is like my hard drive that I have now. Like it has like all the way like years ago, like
Yeah.
maybe 2015. But the thing is like those are just like travels, some designs.
Yeah.
like are there. But like obviously like if when I was tapped in doing designs, like it was all folders on the laptop because I would be
Yeah,
pulling
of
them
course,
up.
because you're running
Yeah,
and gunning
so
shit.
I don't have those 3 laptops. Like the only reason I have my third laptop right now, funny story, was because I lost it at TSA in Hawaii, and then
Fuck.
someone got it in Hawaii, brought it to Mexico, and then some dude from Mexico called me and was like, "Yo, someone brought this broken laptop to get fixed," and then
Oh, they call that was fraud or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah. And then he
Gotcha.
was like, it's not their name. Like it says Jeremy and then it has your information. So he called me and was like, yo, like I have your laptop. And I was like, I'm gonna fix it for you for free. Just pay my boy because he's gonna go
To
to
ship it?
no, 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 not even ship it. Like my boy from Mexico is coming to LA.
Oh, what the fuck?
I'll give it to him and then he'll give it to you in LA. Low key sus.
Yeah.
But then funny story was like apparently some religious guy and then so like I pulled up, it was a church, and then the dude was like a fucking like pastor or some shit, and gave me the laptop fixed, and I gave him like $100, and that was it. I got my laptop back.
I'm gonna blow your fucking mind.
What?
I don't want to tell that whole story like in detail until I like do another episode. After I left your place to go to Hawaii, last time I was here in October, I left my wallet in a car that gave me a ride but wasn't an Uber. And I lost my wallet here in LA. And I landed in Hawaii, and some 55-year-old Iranian man who was super religious called my dad after finding my wallet in his car and shipped it to me.
That's so sick.
I swear to God.
Dude, it's dope.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. That's so funny
fucking
though.
wild. What the fuck? I've
Yeah.
never told you that either.
Well, yeah, like no, like I forgot when that was, but yeah, that's why I haven't been using that laptop that I have.
Yeah.
But because like it's fixed in Mexico, it works. It
I mean,
works.
this is kind of sus.
Yeah, but it worked. Like I can use Photoshop on it. Like
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah,
Jeez,
yeah.
okay. That's all right. But yeah, so I remember like you just told me like just knock out 50 designs a day for like a year.
Yeah. You were bodying shit for a minute. Like,
was,
that no
dude.
one will ever see.
No one. I would post shit every day to my close friends, and I was like, today's like brain vomit or some shit, and I just make random shit.
Yeah.
And I did that for like a year.
Yeah.
And then you were still doing Clubhouse shit, and I was keeping up with you then, and like we were just talking. And then one day you asked me to help you with some like you asked me to help find a fucking mock-up of a hat, and I was like, this is my time. Fuck yeah, this is my fucking time.
I still hate looking at mock-ups sometimes.
But yeah, no, we did Clubhouse and then whatever, and then a lot of shit happened, and then you moved on to different things. How'd you run into, right? Because you now have like a whole separate company called Transparency. How'd you get started in that? How did that idea come about?
Well, like yeah, well, Jed and I met early on, like in the DMs.
Yeah,
And
shout
then,
out Jed, he's off camera,
Yeah, he's off camera.
Yeah.
He's on the phone.
but he's giving me the meanest look right now. He's looking at me. He's like my mom, just like sitting on the side waiting for me to leave.
But we did that like in 2019, 18 or something like that. And then I was still throwing parties at the time. He was still living in Temec, and then he was like managing like a bunch of TikTokers. They had like a tour, like a TikTok tour.
Okay.
And he was a part of it, and he was like representing like Chase, like he was helping manage Chase and stuff.
sure.
And then Keith, by the way, not Huddy.
Yeah.
Doing that, and then I was like throwing parties. I was still designing, like I was still figuring my shit out, like still like on some cool shit. And he like just came to me on some like Filipino shit, like how am I
sure.
doing like social media, whatever. And like he was like with me. We did like events. It just wasn't tapping. Like it just wasn't working out because like my like time during that time, like it was very selfish. Like it was working for me.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
because like I could throw a party and make like a few $1,000s, you know,
Yeah.
and that was chill for a college kid. But
Yeah.
like there was just like no longevity in it. But even during that time, like I knew that wasn't what I was gonna do because I was designing even then. Like I was in fashion already, and I was like in film, like in college. So I was like filming videos for like clubs. Like I was
Yeah.
promoting for clubs. Like, and I would throw the bad decisions parties.
That shit looked crazy.
Those were going dumb.
Those shit looked
Those were going
stupid.
dumb. To this day, like I think no one can compare. Like you can at me, bro. Like if you have a better party than bad decisions in college and high school, please at me.
Okay, I want to say like, what about the
No lie.
MGK night at the Rocks?
No, that's different. That's
Okay,
different. That's different. Like the
I.
bad decisions parties was like my shit. Like people
Yeah,
came because of me. Like because of
yeah,
the clout of that.
yeah,
Like if it was a bad decisions party, like people would go.
yeah.
Like people legitimately would
Would pull
mob
up.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah, like and like make bad decisions. Like that was like the whole
yeah,
thing. And that's like how I built the brand, you know.
yeah.
So
Of
I
course,
went to like I brought it to the Philippines because screen printing in the Philippines was cheaper.
cheaper. Yeah,
And then I had like in the Philippines you can bring like boxes of like
clothes.
shit.
Yeah.
No, not clothes, but just boxes to bring
Okay.
back. And then I would put like that was the only time when like I brought shit from the Philippines where it was clothes rather than like, you know, food or
Stuff.
whatever the
Yeah.
fuck. Yeah. So it was just filled with clothes and because it was cheap and then I sold it, you know.
Yeah.
So anyways, we did the transparency thing because I had that background in like making clothes,
Yeah.
and like just doing like that brand dev shit. So brand development, you know, like that stuff. And then Jed was managing. So, um, a lot of the problem that we saw in the past, because there was no like social economy in TikTok at that time.
Fair.
Like there was no like TikTok audios. There
Yeah.
was no TikTok brand deals.
Yeah.
Like when we did like when Roxanne blew up, like we like
That was
literally,
early.
yeah, we literally just
Yeah, like when it was starting to get legs.
yeah, people just started passing it out like to people.
Gotcha.
You know, like like just Michael probably got paid like a tiny bit of money just to like do a dance to it.
Yeah.
You know, some shit like that. These are like exclusive as fuck. I don't know if like AZ's gonna let me talk. But like those types of shit, like that was cool. And then yeah, and then it just ended up blowing up. But the number one thing that we found a fix like in our like thing was reverse like the management thing.
Okay.
So it
How
was
so?
focused on like making them brands, like focus on making them like businesses.
Yeah.
And then in between managing them once they get to trust you, because like if you're handling their money on brands and if they're your partner,
Facts, yeah.
like they would trust you more to be their manager
Yeah, of course.
eventually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like if you can handle like money for them and you can handle like the direction of like a brand for them,
Yeah.
they'll be able to trust you to manage the brand of who they are.
Yeah, of their like
Yeah,
own thing,
and
yeah.
like our thing too is like it was easier of an entry because like everyone wants to be a manager. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone wants to
Fair.
manage like a big influencer
Gotcha.
or whatever, but not everyone's gonna be like, "Yo, let's make a brand," you know,
Yeah.
of something that they're passionate in. You know, whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. If like, and it just ends up like, you know, the brands that we've created lately have been like, or in the beginning to like now is like clothing or whatever.
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
not just like shitty merch.
Yeah, but besides that, like, you know, we like did like a cannabis company, like jewelry,
true,
like
yeah.
shit like that for
You've done a lot of
Clubhouse.
different shit, yeah.
So it's like different things. It's the same recipe, you know, like you
Yeah.
just cook it differently.
Differently,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was just it was just an easier entry to people like us because Jed and I never want to be like famous. Like I'm like a little
Yeah.
bit more in like like I'd be like in front of the stuff, like in front of social media and like the face of it and stuff
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like that. But regardless, even then, like
Because you're not trying to mooch.
yeah, compared to yeah, like they just catch you. But
Yeah.
compared to like everyone else, like yeah, I can have like let's say if I get 50K at some point this year or whatever
Mm-hmm.
the fuck it is, like the people that we're with have like 5 million followers, like 20 million followers. That's nothing, you know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. That's not fame or like clout or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we just completely erased that. It was
Mm-hmm.
just like once we like made it like a real life thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked about that when you guys were in Miami for the fight. That was like a thing, like a little nugget that you gave me where it was like focus like on real life shit.
Yeah.
Versus just like doing everything for social media.
Yeah. Well, because that's like the key. Like
Yeah.
everyone like people like lose like focus
Mm.
on like they just focus on like being famous
Yeah.
and or like being a famous adjacent, you know.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah,
it
it's,
doesn't
like famous by proxy.
yeah,
kinda shit.
it doesn't
Gotcha.
fucking matter. Like
Yeah.
you can be that, but you're not making bread, you're not making a career for yourself.
I don't count.
You're just someone there.
You're just a moocher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's cool. Like it doesn't even necessarily have to be a moocher, but just someone there all the time. Like we know people that are like that.
Yeah.
And they're like chilling. They're vibing. But at the same time it's like, well, we're like business minded. We're like very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make like a company. Like early on. Like we had the vision early as fuck. Like even
Okay.
when it was nothing, even if like there was no clout, the clients
For
weren't
sure.
as big, like we wanted a company. It wasn't because we easily could have just not had transparency as a company, as an LLC, and it could have just been us.
Yeah,
you know,
individually.
like yeah, like that would have been chill as fuck.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like then you're just like you guys are just two
Like,
dudes.
yeah.
But now, like when we talk to like big like CEOs
You're
or
like
like
an entity.
agencies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like an actual entity that
Yeah.
actually has like now like, you know, our company's like so much bigger. Of
course.
And we have like employees and like we
Yeah.
have like chiefs, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there's people around, you know? So that's like really important. There's like so many partners, there's so many like the whole nine, and every single brand that we create is different now, you know?
Yeah.
So
No, yeah, because I remember it's cool that you kind of took like the friend formula that we all kind of try to find of like one person does this and like it's just a group of homies that all work in the same thing, and you kind of legitimize it a bit.
yeah.
You kind of put it above board versus like mobbing and trying to like fucking run and gun shit
Yeah.
on the fly.
Well,
How do
it's
you?
just important to have like a good lead.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you don't have if you like a shitty foundation,
Yeah.
the whole thing crumbles.
Yeah.
So how do you come across Vinny and how do you start Purg in that timeline?
Like, I don't know if Jed wants to share how, but like Jed was still like working at like the content house that he made, which is like, well, he made a bunch, but one of them, like, he was on the phone, like we got connected with him through like mutual person, and like Chase was our client. They were like really close friends, so
Yeah.
it was a very easy entry. And at that time, like Vinny was just blowing up, like
Okay.
barely, and people like wanted to be around him. But this was when Vin Talk was a thing. I don't
I
know.
remember that.
Yeah,
Because when you told me about him, I was like, I Googled him.
yeah,
And that was like one of the things that came up, and I was like, what the fuck is this?
yeah. Vin Talk. Vin Talk was a thing at that time, and like he already had Purgatory in mind. Like he like
Really?
yeah. This wasn't like we didn't like we created
from
it.
scratch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we created it. But the thing was like Vinny's intellectual property to Purg is his, because
Yeah.
like when he came to us, so funny story, like we met him at Earth Cafe on Melrose, and we were already popping like at this time, like bro, like I was on top of the world already. Like I was like, dude, like this is sick, but like we were also doing sick shit already. But he skated to the fucking meeting.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, he
Word?
skated to the meeting.
Word?
And then we just sat there and just chopped it up. And he had like this mock-up of a design.
Uh-huh.
And it was so bad.
I think you sent me that.
Yeah, it was so bad. And I was like, dude, like no way you're gonna do this. And so the moment like we chopped it up and like I kind of understood the vision, I
Yeah.
was like, bet, like I got this.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like he picked up his parents at the airport. I'll never forget every Vinny story, because every single one is always iconic.
Okay.
But yeah, like that happened. Jed like contacted him. Then a few months after that, he signed to us, and then yeah, and that's another thing. If it was just the boys, like there's no one
nothing
to sign to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he signed to the company, and then we like dropped everything.
That was like the main focus.
Yeah, like
Bet.
I remember, I'll never forget the conversation. Like when we like signed Vinny, he was like, because I was like, we had other projects at that time.
Yeah.
And he was like, this is it. Like, just focus on this. Let's just make this like huge as fuck. And I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
let's do that. And it ended up being what it is now,
Yeah.
which is like fucking big. But yeah,
Yeah. So we just had the fucking pop up.
Yeah,
Just for
yesterday.
timeline's sake. It was
Yeah.
yesterday. That was like,
it's the 16th
yeah, like
right now.
it's the 16th. That shit was like 12 hours ago.
24.
But yeah, I remember you sent me that design.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you sent me the name, and I was like, "Fuck, I'm so fucked," because that wasn't my style. Because you sent me like a few references and a few brands as reference,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Fuck, dude, how the fuck am I gonna pull this out? Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do for this."
Do you remember when we erased this top?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I just need to like let people be known. Like David like worked on like OG designs with
Yeah.
me. Like the mock-ups of like the early renditions of Purg.
Yep.
Like we did that together.
Yeah, and those are gonna be in a book
Yeah.
that Antonio made. That's actually.
But like I
yeah.
don't want people to know that, because it's
Okay.
so bad.
Yeah, no, they suck.
It's so
They're
bad.
fucking disgusting.
The only thing that was kind of decent was the brown design, but see, we released
Which
that
we
in
did
black.
that, but on black.
Yeah,
The
but
only
like
thing that was useful was that brown design and the fucking logo.
yeah,
That
so
was it.
that the back was chill. Yeah, it was. But
It was
when
ass.
we were working on this one, like I had so many different fonts for these.
Yeah.
Like I remember like
I think I tried like 5 or 6, and you
yeah,
had a bunch more.
yeah. So we were like looking on those, and then this for some reason like just resonated.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like this is like a big deal.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
fucking thing that's gonna go on everything.
Because like when we started the brand, like that purpose of like branding it for the first 3, like everything that we've done from the beginning to
Has been
now,
very
it has been planned since the beginning.
Yeah.
Like since that moment, like everything that we have now and have done now has been planned like a
Strategically,
year ago. Like it wasn't like, oh, like it just popped off. Like
You know what's crazy?
nah, bro. Like that
'Cause
was not it.
being the guy like back home that like had the brand but didn't have bread. I know that feeling of like, shit, what if this isn't gonna be popping like 6-8 months from now? The fact that you have done that and that you have succeeded in maintaining just being cool
For Purg?
for Purg is impressive.
Well, it was because like
With the fucking pandemic, dude.
yeah,
También, like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fucking crazy.
Well, the thing is, like, dude, we've made so many different brands.
Fair.
So like,
you kind of know what hits already.
yeah. So like, we've done so many brands, and like the recipe has changed over time.
Okay.
And like it all stems from so many things from the past, like
sure.
everything that I've learned from Justin, everything I've learned from Clubhouse, from like my own experiences, like every single minuscule detail to making a brand has been like
Refining the process.
refined it, yeah.
sure.
And then now it's just like to this day, like we're still refining things, but like at least now I know I can get it to this point.
Yeah.
From like whatever is the idea, I can get it to this point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You've reached this point now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can do this again, yeah.
Yeah. So
Dude, on a scale from 1 to 10, how stressed out were you with this fucking pop-up? Because I saw your face.
yeah, dude. Very high stress. Just for the sheer reason that like there's so many like moving parts.
And people and
Yeah.
fucking rules and
And the
shit.
thing is like the difference with this is like I'm responsible for this one.
Yeah.
So like in the past, like Justin's pop up, like I wasn't if something
It
flopped,
falls on him.
Yeah. And in the Chase pop up, like we were doing that, but it wasn't as important as this.
Yeah.
Because the brand we did that pop up like 3 months into the brand.
Yeah, that was very, like, soon. I
Yeah.
remember that, yeah.
So that's why, like, okay, like when we did this pop up, it was like a year after. That was cool. Like that was smart because people actually, dude, like people like waited.
You had, I think it was like a 300-something people line.
Dude, it was
first
long.
people started at 7 a.m.
Yeah, it was way more. I think it was just because of like the weather too.
Yes, it was rainy and gloomy.
But like it was so many people. Dude, no way. It was way more. Like
I heard Bianca count that, but that was like at like 3. So it was probably a lot more. You're not wrong. That
It was
like
a
midday.
lot of people.
Yeah, that count was like midday.
So that was cool. Yeah, like it was very stressful just because like if something goes wrong, like okay, this is what I was explaining to Kinley last night. I was like, yo, like the reason for the stress of it was because like I'm so close to Vinny. Like
Fair.
I'm a very empathetic person. Yeah,
yeah.
so like I know like what he's feeling because like we're at that point now. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So I know like what he's feeling and what he's going through. So that other people might not necessarily like be able to.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like this was not the like it was very important for him to do so.
Yeah.
You know, and it was very important for us to do so. For the brand, for him, because these kids and these people like have a legitimate like emotional connection not only to Vinny
Yeah.
but like for the clothes
For the
and the
clothing and
meaning
the
of
branding and the
yeah, and that was like what we were focusing on for a year. So that was like really really important. With other brands it was not like that. We were just
Yeah.
fucking around. It was like it was just fun.
Yeah.
This was
Okay.
like this had more meaning to
had more
it.
weight?
Like yeah, it had more weight, and plus Purg is like my baby. So
feel that,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like like Caustic was also my baby. That was like a very like close thing to us, but like it just was not at this magnitude,
Yeah.
you know.
For
So,
sure. That was wild. Yesterday was crazy.
Yeah, yesterday was lit though. A lot of people
Yeah.
popped up.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
yeah.
popped in.
Funny thing is like all those people that popped out most likely also pulled up to our other pop up 2 years ago,
Really?
but they were just much smaller at that time. Yeah.
That's wild. Dude, I took pictures with like fans. That was
I didn't even
fucked.
take any photos with
That
fans.
was fun. And every single time it was like a late teens or early 20s girl with her mom.
I'm dead.
And the mom was like, take a picture with him. Go, take a picture, take a picture. He helped design. Take a
Listo,
picture.
listo, listo.
Yeah, I was like, I bet for sure.
That's too funny.
But that shit was crazy. And then you guys did a Starbucks show, and that was fucking funny.
It wasn't Starbucks, bro. We went in this coffee.
Where'd
shit.
you at? Yeah, because you guys said Starbucks.
Yeah, but then
You
it was
dipped.
too far.
It was like a 5-minute walk.
Nah, bro.
Then again, there was like 20 of you.
Not 20 of us. There was like probably 10
was
of
like,
us.
I don't
But
know.
we just passed by one like a block away. We
Oh,
passed it, and
fuck.
then J Lad was like, "Yo, there's a coffee shop right here, bro. Like,
Oh,
what are we
bet.
doing?"
Because you guys left, and I didn't see you come back.
Yeah,
So I was like, where the fuck did they go?
yeah.
And then I dipped I went with a girl
Uh-huh.
to Starbucks.
Oh, okay.
Came back, and I was like, damn, he's definitely gonna be pissed. Like, he's definitely gonna be pressed. Like, where the fuck I am. And I like, we were talking about it on the
Just
way
to let
here.
y'all know, I flew this man out
This
to
man
LA.
flew me out, but he flew me out and like dipped mid pop up.
Booked the flight as
Oh.
soon as I hopped off the phone with him.
Yeah, no, for real. But yeah, it was wild. It was fucking crazy. It was cool seeing the shit that I make in person. That was fucked.
And that's another reason why we all like was like, yeah, let's
Yeah.
bring him out for sure. Yeah.
That was fucking
Just to
crazy.
let it be known too, there's only like 3 designers in Purg. It's
Yeah.
just me, David, and our boy Max from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
he's
then
Canadian? What the fuck? I didn't know.
yeah.
Oh,
And then
shit.
some kid like helped like way before, but it wasn't that crazy.
Yeah.
But it was just it was just us like that were doing
Yeah.
that. And at the end of the day, like as long as like everything lands in my computer and I'm just like, okay, like I need to be able to like organize, like
Have
it's
everything.
like
Yeah.
like it's like an orchestra. Okay, so like does this look proper to like what it is?
Yeah.
And then sometimes like I design a full collection by myself just for shits and gigs. Like I'll just do that
For sure.
Yeah.
Facts.
But then sometimes like I'd have like you or like Max and stuff like that. It just depends on like my workload too,
Of
depending
course.
on like
How
what
much you have to delegate,
Yeah,
yeah.
like what type of month it looks like.
Fair.
You know what I'm saying? And that's like important. But at
Yeah.
the end of the day, it's like everything like with a magnitude this big, like bro, Supreme had like Off-White has so many designers. Supreme
Yeah.
had 2 designers when Supreme started, or 3 designers when they started. Like everything like that with brands, like if you want to get to a big level and a higher level, like you
Yeah.
need to be able to have like a team. Like that's
Yeah,
the
of
thing that
course.
fucks people up is like
Wanting
they
to share.
yeah, they want to do like their everything themselves,
Themselves.
or like even if it's just 2 people and shit. Like it can't be that way. Like when you get to this certain level, like okay, how the fuck are you gonna move 50,000 units?
That's fucking crazy.
Well, that's the thing too, is like the dedication of like that's
Yeah.
another thing too, is like it's more than just getting paid. Like some people like really like okay, when you find a brand like at this level, like you want to be a part of it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like I don't feel any type of way with anyone because like first of all, like when we were doing this, like it was just Jed and I at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then before Jed, it was just me, you know. So like all of this stuff, like you know, I get it. Like I've been at the facilities, I've been doing what Jeffrey did. Like
Yeah.
I have
been in those shoes all the time.
Yeah, like I've been in those like all the videos, all the photos. Like I've shot those. Like
Yeah.
I've done concerts. Like I've
Yeah.
done the whole thing. Designing, like I've done all the designing for other people, for myself. Like it's different when you're just doing one job.
Yeah.
It's different now for me because I'm like I have to wear all of these hats now because like things are like very different.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a different thing. Like if someone told me like, yo, your only job is to design, like you bet your ass like my designs better be like I better be churning shit
Yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if my job is to just screen print everything, you better be screen printing the whole 9
Yeah.
because that's the only thing that you're doing and that's the only thing that you're worrying about.
Yeah.
You know
Which
what I'm
honestly,
saying?
I understand it and I respect it because I see now, because I've always kind of like gauged it in my head. Mm-hmm. But I think like more than October, this trip was very much like an eye opener of like how much you have to stretch yourself. Like not to mean that like it's like it changes my mind. Like I've always since you hit me up and asked me to design stuff for Perk, I've always been like, okay, this is my one thing. Like I'm not like it's not even that terrible of a job. It's not fucking crazy stressful.
Yeah. It's just shit that you love doing anyway.
Exactly.
Because, okay, like, I'm not ever going to ask David to do something that I haven't done or wouldn't do myself. Like, if David's just like, yo, like, I don't want to do that. And I'll be like, okay, bet. Like, I'll do it. Like,
Which I've never said, by the
yeah,
way.
like, I'll be like, okay, bet. Like, Max has. Like,
Really?
Because Max also has other projects,
Fair.
you know?
Okay.
But my thing is, and you also have other projects. But my
Yeah.
thing is just, like, with these type of things, like, I know, like, what it takes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I genuinely know what it takes because I've been there. So,
Yeah. No, but I appreciate it. There's a segment called Dish It or Take It. If I dish it, I gotta be able to take it. So
Say
you
it.
get to ask me anything you want.
okay.
Get the shit on me. Expose me.
Oh, ask you a question.
Whatever you want. Jet too, if you want.
On a scale of 1 to 10. Actually, no. Who's your favorite designer?
Fuck, I was gonna ask you that. Dang
Huh?
it. I was gonna ask you that later.
You can ask me that later. That's fine.
Oh fuck. I'm gonna give 3 just because I can't do this mentally right now. Red Cow Kubo, Virgil, and Hiroshi Fujiwara. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. What you?
I love a lot of Vivian. Chrome Hearts is fucking great.
Ooh.
The Stark family is hard.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorites right now. I'm blanking out. I hate this question
Yeah.
because I see it so
It
differently.
changes so many times.
Yeah, there's so many waves and
Yeah.
shits.
Different types of
Like,
shit. Yeah.
you can ask me the people that I hate designing, but favorite ones are those. Represent is good. Like the Heaton brothers are dope. A lot of UK designers are fire.
Fair.
Yeah,
True.
yeah, yeah. A lot
That's
of
true.
UK designers are fire for sure.
That's true.
And it's like more than just designing like fucking graphics.
No, yeah, it's fucking garments and
Yeah,
cutting
yeah.
and all this shit.
Because
Yeah.
you gotta know. And to me, what constitutes a very good designer is someone that can design shit outside of clothing.
Fair.
Yeah. So
Like-
look at I hate him, but Ruiji's good. But the thing is, I just hate him as a person, and
Okay.
I don't give a fuck to say that publicly, just because I know that I'm a Filipino descendant,
Yeah.
and he is too, with his story and stuff, but he's not real Filipino. You know what
He's
I'm
like
saying?
Arabic and some shit
Nah,
too, right?
nah. He's Filipino.
Okay.
And he's not real Filipino. He doesn't put on for the Filipino
Community?
Yeah, not
That's kinda-
community, but
okay.
you see me
Yeah.
with the Filipino shit.
Yeah,
I have
that's true.
hella Filipino
That's true.
clients. You know what
You're
I'm
not
saying?
wrong. Yeah, you do.
My goal is to be able to put on creatives from the Philippines.
The
I'm
Philippines.
tapped into I can name brands in the Philippines.
Okay, shit like that.
Yes, I
Damn.
can do that. Don't blame the kids, type shit. Shout out I don't know, Abra's brand. These kids are all dope. There's so many people that are dope in the Philippines that just
It's
don't.
mad underrated.
Yeah, and even in Korea, when I'm in Korea, they're all dope. The Plan B brand, the
Yeah.
purple hoodie, shit like that. I'm just tapped into that because they don't get the mainstream
Attention.
yeah, especially with the pandemic too.
Fair. I didn't even
You know
think
what I'm
of that.
saying?
Wow.
Because they can't send shit out to the
Yeah,
US.
to
So
the US.
in the
Damn, I didn't
next
even think of that.
yeah, so
Wow.
in the next 5 years, 10 years, when I really make it, we're already planting those seeds right now. I have
Wow.
I have Lorene as a client. We're tapped into the Pacquiaos,
Yeah.
Jake as our client, Ellery's our client, people like that, and then it's getting in the moment we go back to the Philippines, we're tapped in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're already good.
And even then, because I grew up in the Philippines, I actually grew up in the
Yeah.
Philippines. I have friends there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
You're so wired. You're so connected.
Yes,
there.
and I go
Yeah.
back home every year. So I get to see the
true.
waves every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're caught up.
Yeah. So I know these kids. If I have my Instagram, I follow Filipino brands as well. So that's the thing about Ruiji and Rude. It's great. They're such a great brand. I have Rude pieces. Archive only though, because the new shit sucks. But that's the only thing that I don't like. Is because you're repping, but not really.
really.
But I'm he did a campaign in the Philippines, and he just went to the ghetto. He just went to the fucking province,
Okay.
did a campaign with
And dipped.
a bunch of kids.
Uh-huh.
Gave some stuff out, but didn't do anything. But then he would be hanging out with celebs and then putting Rude on celebs,
Gotcha, okay.
and shit like that. Bro,
Gotcha, gotcha.
that's so corny.
Gotcha.
You wanna put on real shit? Go talk to Big Boy Chang. Shout out Big Boy. Jed, do you know who Big Boy Chang is? Do you know who that is? You're a fucking nerd. So shout out those people. There's real big hitters in the Philippines that are putting on for real. That maybe I'm wrong, maybe I didn't know in the full,
Who
you know.
knows? Yeah.
But my thing is based out of what is out.
What's out, yeah.
Yeah. He didn't do any of that, you know.
Damn.
So for you know who's cool? Alayla May.
You've talked about this person.
Yeah, she's half Filipino.
Once or twice. Okay.
Yeah, she's half Filipino. She was in the same come up as Ruiji.
For sure.
We're speaking a whole different language right now. So they all came from the same come up in
Okay.
LA,
Gotcha.
with Heron, with
Yeah.
Virgil, they all came up together, and Fear of God, Jerry
Yeah,
Lorenzo.
Jerry Lorenzo.
They all came together, back in the old days,
Yeah.
back in like 2012 when like the
2014,
yeah. So they had that little
Collective thing,
yeah,
whole vibe.
and they all like became goated.
Yeah.
Which is how I envision our crew now,
Yeah.
like not just for Purg, but like our circle, like that we all know. Like in this like creative like TikTok space,
Yeah.
like like the Baron shows and like
sure.
like all these kids like in the next 5 to 10 years you'll see all of these kids being like those people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like because they're already starting now and they're bigger.
Yeah.
And they're bigger.
They're bigger than like
Yeah,
how it was
they're
before.
big. Yeah,
comparison,
But obviously people are gonna come and go. But like,
Of course.
Yeah. But the people that stick to it, like me, like I'm gonna stick to it, like, are gonna make it out. Because you see the people that are killing it. The stories always go like, oh, I have been doing this since 2016. So like it's 2022 now. So like I've been doing this shit for like what 6 years or
something like that.
yeah, something like that. So it's like that's why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you see these people, like they always wonder why you blew up, or
Yeah.
sorry, not
And
blew
you've
up.
seen people come and go too.
Yeah, you see why people become successful is because they've been killing it for like that long. Or not even killing it for that long, but like
Grinding.
have been grinding for that long.
Yeah.
You can't just grind for a year, 2 years, and then expect, oh, I'm about to be on some Ruiji level shit. No
course.
way, So it's
course.
just not happening.
For sure. Thanks for coming, buddy.
Oh, is it done?
Yeah, that's it. It was an hour.
Oh shit!
That was really quick, huh? That was really fast.
But
Yeah. Anything you want to plug, really quick?
Purg, like shout out, all of people. Yeah, like I just wanted to do this shit because David's the boy and I've been having FOMO because the aesthetic is dope and he uses black market, guys.
No, I don't. I don't use Photoshop. That's not me. That's Charlie. That's Charlie.
Yo, we just found out Charlie D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio's brand uses fucking black market. Peace.
Oh fuck! Hold up, really quick.
What's your outro here?
Nothing. Just
Oh
some
my
some
god,
goofy shit.
bro.
That'll be perfect.